You, the fans, versus the premier of the province. And as we reach the halfway point of the season, you are 1 point ahead of the premier, ladies and gentlemen, and you can have premier pick supremacy if you beat the premier. So here are the 4 games. Hamilton, Montreal, Edmonton, Toronto, then it's Winnipeg, Calgary, and of course Ottawa, Saskatchewan. Now, for you to compete, it is the mass majority rules here for the fan vote. So 306. Who are your 4 winners this week? Hamilton, Montreal, Edmonton, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, Ottawa, Saskatchewan. Who you got this week? As the fans and the Premier went 2 for 4 last week, and the Premier joins us now for Premier's Picks. Premier Wall, how are you?
Jamie, how are you doing?
Very well. What was the update today, by the way, for the forest fires? I saw that on your Twitter feed, I do believe.
Oh, well, no, what we're doing is traveling around to the communities and the stakeholders that were really affected, kind of doing a debrief to try to figure out how the response went well and how maybe we can, improve it. So, no, that was we're meeting with the Prince Albert Grand Council and the mayor, and now up in La Ronge, actually, with Mayor Thomas up here. And I should give a shout out to the La Ronge, the Churchill Chargers football program. Something they started about 4 years ago, and I just dropped by the school. It's a new school. We toured around and said hello to the coaches, and the players are pumped and ready to go. Their first games against the Cumberland House Islanders, a little 6-man football in northern Saskatchewan.
I was going to ask how many guys are playing there.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win first this year? Those guys or the Riders?
I predict that either the Cumberland House Islanders or the Churchill Chargers will have a better winning record than the Saskatchewan Roughriders until this weekend when they win. So how about that for the most political answer ever in the history of ever?
Oh, I don't know about that. We've heard a few gems on Premier's Picks. Premier Wall, the Green Zone question of the day. Now, this may be another political answer that you have to tap dance around, but we'll see. Green Zone question.
I could try to channel Donald Trump and just say something.
I would never.
He doesn't tap dance around anything.
I would never try to channel Donald Trump for anything.
That's probably pretty good politically.
Brett Smith. Well, when Kevin Glenn comes back, should they stick with Brett Smith at quarterback or put Kevin Glenn back in when Glenn's healthy?
I would stick with Smith.
The majority
that's a quarterback of the future, and I really like Kevin Glenn, and I think he's played very well this year. But I'm not going to give you the political answer. They should stick with Smith. He's part of the future of this team, and if we can just manage to play the last half of the last quarter, we're gonna win with him.
Premier Wall, you are with 100% of the people who have voted today on that question.
Really?
We have not heard one person say they should go back to Kevin Glenn when he is back to health. So they have faith in Brett Smith, which is a positive sign moving forward for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
It really is. It helps with the fan base. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why you get sellouts when we're 0-7. So.
Yeah, selling a bit of the future now in Saskatchewan, although they go up against the Ottawa Red Blacks. Thanks to the Saskatchewan Roughriders loss, I was the winner last week on Premier's Picks. I tweeted out the picture of the board with they weren't the updated standings. So you have now caught Gary Nickel because Gary went 0 last week.
I think Gary should just be dropped from this. Maybe just put put Scotty.
Gosh.
I think maybe put Scotty back in. Have it half and half of the fan zone.
No, Warren, no, he can't do that. This is my only hope right now. I'm clinging to this only hope like grim death. We got to keep Gary in this.
Kind of like a political convention or like a runoff in Europe. Low man, just you have to be part of this, so you don't count. But Gary can just get dropped off.
Yeah,
because this is your show, really.
You may think I'm not very good at Premier's Picks, but then again, I'm not Gary. That's sort of a slogan I'm working on. It's a little long for a T-shirt, but refining it.
Is Gary listening to this? He's taking this. Oh, that's what. How are you feeling, Gary? Are you all right?
I'm again, like I continue to say in my contract, I'm supposed to lose and make the Premier look good. That's part of who I am and what I do with this segment.
That's true. I apologize, Gary. I forgot about that contract clause.
Well, we're not supposed to let anyone know about it, but now, since we're making this all public and we're really burying Gary, it's time that the people know the truth.
We will say this.
Okay, all right. For this week, you are released from that clause. So
Wow.
So if you would remember, Jamie, let's see how we make out next week when Gary is not forced to pick worse than me, which takes some doing this year, by the way.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
It's been a struggle for everybody but one on Premier's picks so far this year.
Oh, here
Now
we go.
We are one game over 500.
Wow.
I'm six.
Kresgen?
I'm 6 over 500 now. I'm 21 and 15.
Not exactly the amazing Kresgen, though, yet, Jamie. I don't know.
No.
Spiking the ball in the end zone or anything.
In comparison, however, I'm doing all right. But let's. I was going to mention this. The one time Gary did the smart thing once. He went with Scott Vickers, of course. Gary and Scott, you heard on the Fan Zone during each and every Rider game. Scott went perfect that week, I do believe, when he was the one who did the decision. So I don't know if he's tweeted out his picks this week. Oh, he has.
Team Fan Zone is ready to get back on track and make this
right.
the most entertaining picks you've ever heard. Because Lord knows Jamie Nye can't do that.
You're released from the clause. Remember that, Gary? You're released from the clause. Just pick to win now. Pick to win.
So we're looking for everybody's vote. Of course, the fans rule here. Although the fans they're all sticking together here. There has been not one pick that's different from all the other fans. They are sticking to Hamilton, Toronto, Calgary, and Saskatchewan as the winners this week.
I see one from Ottawa.
Oh, you did? I didn't see the one Ottawa one.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Glenn's got Ottawa.
Oh, there we go. Glenn's got Ottawa. He's also had Edmonton.
Glenn Suter has Ottawa?
No. Glenn from Moose Jaw.
Glenn from Moose Jaw has Ottawa, but he also has Hamilton and Calgary, so we'll see.
I'm with the fans. Those are my picks.
Oh, those
Ticats-esque Stamps Riders.
Now you know Premier Wall. If you go 100% with the fans, you're never going to pass them because
I'm not playing your games, Jamie. This is how you've talked me out of picks in the past.
Not only that,
way back.
Mr. Premier, it's our job to make this entertaining. Remember, we talked about how we got to be like the Fan Zone. We have to lift Jamie up and make these picks entertaining. By you just making those 4 picks just like that, that's not entertaining. That's the Jamie Nye way out. We don't do that here.
No, it isn't, Gary. That's switching it up because we always go through each game and then we make a pick. Being entertaining is sometimes switching things up. So, boom, there it is. Ticats, Eskimos, Stamps, Riders.
Eskimos. The fans were going Toronto. You're going with Eskimos.
Oh yeah. So I'm not like the fans at all. So in addition to this being entertaining, or trying to make my picks entertaining, I've also made them incorrect.
So you're going Hamilton, Edmonton,
correct,
Calgary, Saskatchewan.
Correct.
There you go. There are Premier Wall's picks. I am 100% with the Premier on this one. I have those same 4 decisions made. I am picking the Riders to win their first game of the season in Ottawa, in the nation's capital. How's that for excitement, Gary Nickel?
That's pretty good.
And
you go ahead, Mr. Premier.
No, you go ahead. I know he did kind of get excited. You heard it in his voice. As they say in radio, he juiced it a little bit at the end there, Jamie. I think you're trying a lot harder in this episode of Premier's Picks.
We're elevating his entertainment value, Mr. Premier.
Now, when Premier says juiced it, this is not a performance enhanced radio program.
No, it's radio terminology for giving it a little.
Not to be confused with his PEPs that he likes to bust out every time the premiers meet, those performance-enhancing premiers.
That's right, I forgot about that.
So, Gary, I have no picks for you. So, what do you got?
Team Fan Zone proudly selects your Saskatchewan Riders. I'm so sorry, province of Saskatchewan. The Gary curse will continue. But I've been calling for a big Rider win for a while now. They are definitely the Generals. They're super due. As well, Team Fan Zone has the Ticats. And Team Fan Zone also takes the Eskimos and the Stamps. Now, am I to believe that's the same as...
It's the same. We're all the same.
So everybody has the exact same picks except for the fans are going with Toronto over the Edmonton Eskimos.
Except for the fans and Glenn and Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw. Yes, absolutely. We'll see how it all plays out. So I will continue to have a lead because...
See, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like how I had to go with Scotties this week because I knew they were going to be the same, but you were right.
One. You can change one, Gary.
Mr. Premier?
No, don't. Gary, don't play his games. I'm telling you. Don't play Kresgen's games.
See, if this was the Fan Zone right now, we'd find a way to make this really, really awesome and dramatic, but I just can't do it.
I think it's been a good segment.
I think so too. Before we let you go, Premier, I do want coming up after 5 o'clock. We're going to hear from Tony Mandarich, who was up in Saskatoon talking to the Hilltops and Huskies. You know that name well.
The old Green Bay Packer and Colt, and yes, and brother of John, correct? John, who played D-line for the Evil Empire.
Absolutely, and he has an amazing story of in and out of addiction and everything, and back in football. So that's coming up after 5 o'clock. Premier Wall, go Raiders!
Thanks, fellas. Yeah, they're looking good, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely.